Hi, I'm Troy from Studio 33 Guitar. Thanks for watching. Today we're looking at how to play Monster by Justin Bieber and Shawn Mendes. This is a great collaboration between these two artists. It sounds really good and it's got a really cool feel to it. And that's going to be the hardest part to try and duplicate on the guitar because there's no acoustic guitar in the original recording. But I'll show you a strumming pattern that'll work to really replicate that feel. In order to make the chords a little bit easier to play, I will be showing you how to do it with a capo. So you will need a capo for this lesson. If you don't have one, you can order one on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description below to the one that I usually use. Now, if you don't have a capo, you can also still play this song with the chords that I'm going to show you, but it's going to sound lower than the original recording. And depending on your vocal range, if you want to sing along to it, having it a little bit lower might actually be a good thing. And as always, you can download a free PDF chart of the chords and lyrics from my website, studio33guitar.com. If you print that off, it'll make it a little bit easier to follow along. So let's jump right in, zoom in on the neck, and have a look at how to play Monster. As I mentioned, you will need a capo for this song, and you put that on the 5th fret. Now I'm going to run through the chords that you'll need for the song, and then we'll talk about the strumming pattern. The first chord that you need is an A minor chord, which looks like this. And that's going to be with your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the D string, your ring finger directly below that, and then your index finger 1 string down on the 1st fret. And for that chord, you're going to play from the 5th string or the A string down. The next chord that you're going to need is a G major chord. Now there's a few different ways to play a G major chord, but I usually recommend playing it this way, with both your ring finger and pinky finger down on this 3rd fret up from the capo. If you've watched some of my other videos, you know that that's how I usually play a G chord, and that's how I recommend it usually be played, because quite often this fingering will make it easier for the next chord you're going to go to. And that's the case with this song. The next chord that you go to is going to be a D/F sharp chord, and it's going to be easier to make that change if you use both of these fingers down. So for that next chord, D/F sharp, we're going to move our index finger up to the E string, and we're going to move our middle finger down to the 2nd fret on the G string. And now we're going to take our pinky finger off, and we're not going to play that highest string. So the chord's going to sound like this. So what's important here is we're going to use our index finger just to lie a little bit flat to mute out this A string, because we don't really need that ringing out. So we have our index finger here, it's going to play that note, but then the A string, we're just going to have it muted, so you can just leave your index finger a little bit flat. This next string, the D string, will ring out, and then where our middle finger is and our ring finger is, those 2 strings will ring, but this high string we don't need. So again, we can use the base of our index finger just to rest on that string to keep it from ringing. You can also try and avoid it completely with the pick, and that'll help as well. And the last chord that we need is an F major chord. And again, there's a number of different ways you can play an F major chord. For this song, I would suggest playing it like this. So a full F major bar chord would look something like that. For this one, it's going to be basically the same shape, but instead we're just going to have our index finger down here instead of using a full bar. So you have your ring finger on the 3rd fret of the A string, pinky finger is directly below that, your middle finger on the next string down, but 1 fret back, and then your index finger, 1 string down again at the 1st fret. And again, for this chord, we don't need this highest string to ring out, so again, we can use our index finger just to lay a little bit flat to keep that from ringing out. So for that F chord, you end up with this. And again, we're not playing this lowest E string, we're just playing from where our ring finger is down. So those are the 4 chords that we need for the verse. Now let's take a look at the strumming pattern that we'll use. Each of these chords will be played for 1 full bar, which means that we're going to be counting to 4 for each of these chords. So the simplest way to play that would be like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you would repeat that sequence. And if you wanted to start the song off with a mellow, soft kind of feel, you could play it exactly like that, just one strum for each chord. As the song picks up a little bit, you're going to want to add a little bit of strums. And the type of strum that really fits well with this song would sound something like this. So for that strum, we're still counting to 4 for each chord, but we're putting some emphasis on different beats. The basic strum is going to be a down, up, down, down. And we're going to put a couple of mutes in between. So that's going to be like this. You're going to go down, up, and then come down with your strumming hand and just rest it against the strings to keep it from ringing. So that's going to be like this. And remember, on that upstroke, you're just getting these top 2 strings. You're not going to try and strum through all the strings. You're just going to be kind of flicking out on those highest 2 strings. So again, that'll be a down, up, and then hit your hand down on the strings. And you're going to follow that through with another down strum. So that'll be like this. And then you'll add in one more down. So altogether it'd be like this. And you'll play that same sequence for each of those 4 chords. So altogether that would look like this. And you can use that same strumming pattern for both the verses and the choruses. Now let's take a look at the chords that we play on the chorus. The chorus chords are very similar to the verse chords. We're just going to have one chord that's different. So we're starting off again with that A minor chord, going to this G chord, and the next chord that we're going to play is going to be a D minor chord, and that's going to look like this. So that one, again, if we play that G chord with our 2 fingers down, then that ring finger gets to stay in that same spot. And then you're going to add your middle finger, 1 string up, but 1 fret back. And then your index finger is going to go down here on the highest string at the 1st fret. And then you're going to play from the D string down. And that gives you a D minor chord. And then the last chord is going to be that same F chord again, which looks like that. So all 4 of those chords together with that strumming pattern we just learned would look like this. Now, if you wanted to make that strum just a little bit bigger and a little bit more full for the chorus, you could add one more down up at the end of that sequence, and that would look like this. After that chorus, you're going to go back and play the verse and chorus again, and it's going to be played exactly the same way as the first time through. If you want to learn more Justin Bieber songs, make sure you check out the 2 that are on the screen right now. And don't forget to download the free PDF from the website, and make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next lesson. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.